Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. Welcome back. It's got a jacket on this morning. A little cool outside this morning. It's supposed to be up in the 80s all week, but a little chilly. Had a few things come in this week. Not a terrible amount of campers, but had some stuff come in. Still a little bit on the abnormally slow side. So I don't know. We'll see. Just kind of interested in how things are like that some days. But I got several up here we got to get going on. Mr. Brandon just showed up a few minutes ago, so I got to go down here and get with him and the boss lady and make sure we got everything lined up for this week. Cousin Gary had an abscessed tooth, so he'll be out for today probably. So I'll be moving campers this morning, so yay me. So good morning, welcome back. Let's get going. Okay, so we had this Dynamax come in this morning with an appointment on an Aqua Hot situation. Now the customer stated, and this is a brand new unit, it's just a few weeks old, that the Aqua Hot runs and it was over temping. So we went through to verify that there wasn't any loose wires or anything of that nature. And right now Cody's got the unit running. We've got the heat turned on inside. It's got a recorder that's back in the compartment right there. Let me take you over and show you what we're looking at. So the biggest thing right now, we're trying to determine if it's over temping or what it's doing. Now, the recorder does tell us what the temperature is. So you can see, it looks like the temperature's about 130 degrees right now. So the temperature's about 130 degrees right now. So we're gonna watch it. Anything should be about 180. Temp sensors are about 215. So we're gonna see if it's gonna shut off at that point. So we've got the heat running inside. We've got the, so we'll just have to see. We're gonna let it run here in for a minute. Okay, so Cody ran that Aqua Hot probably through 8 or 9 sequences. Now we went in there and turned the heat on in zone 1 and on zone 2, and the Aqua Hot was coming up to 186 degrees, turning off, and then when the temperature got down to about 165 or so, it would come back on and run. Now the customer had stated that, and he actually came up here and I had him operate it the way he operates it, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And he had stated that the other day he woke up and it wasn't on, and it had a fault code. Well, he went to try to get the fault code out and accidentally cleared it. And the circulation pump was running, but the diesel side would never fire up. I couldn't reproduce that. I hate problems like that because, again, you know, it may do that again. So I don't know. But I brought it down here to the main shop and then plugged it up, and we actually ran it through a cycle with him standing out there looking at it. Now he was about an hour and a half away from this location, and he only brought it to us because he was dealing with a big dealer down in Birmingham, and they literally couldn't get to him until August. So we were able to work him in, but again, didn't really find anything terribly wrong with it. Worked fine for us. Sometimes that stuff's scary to me. So anyways, he's gone. Just got back from lunch. Go up here and see what the boys are into, and we'll show you a couple things we're working on up here. Well, good morning. We're back here on it's Wednesday. I hadn't been able to get much video done this week. I've had, man, it's just been crazy around here, and Cousin Gary's still out. Come find out he's got a tooth that's went abscessed on him, so he's out today having surgery on it. So been a little short-handed with him not here. I've been having to do a bunch of running. That Winnebago you see right there is up from Florida. It's got some basement air and electrical problems. I guess somebody in the park hit a power pole and it shorted out a bunch of stuff, and burned up some stuff. So he's all the way up here from Florida. Gonna let us look at that. Now you can see my awning got campers underneath it. This one over here, campers underneath it. All those are leaking. So, you know, kind of a crazy deal. They all come in leaking like that. So I got a bunch of awnings that are tied up right now. We're trying to get them pushed through. Now, if you saw last week's video, you saw that we had a Luxor by Winnebago that came through from Canada that was in here for a basement air. And it's funny how things sometimes run in 2s and 3s around here, because look at that. There's another one. So this lady's up from Florida. Of course, I never heard of a Luxor. Now here we had 2 in a row. So she's up from Florida, got basement air problems, had somebody try and work on it down there, and evidently they hooked something up wrong, and she said there was smoke all through the inside of the camper. So we're gonna dive into that this morning and see if we can figure out what's going on there. Fortunately, that one has a little bit of an odd board, which I do have in stock. So we're gonna get her pulled up there here in a few minutes. But yes, the work has definitely come in this week. So we've had a bunch of emergency calls we've been trying to deal with, and of course, you know, everything else that's here seems to be an emergency some days. So the boys have got their hands full at the moment, so I got to get up here. We're going to dive into this Luxor and see what we've got going on there. So let's go check this out. So the race car toter home you see right there had a carrier air conditioner on there, and we just got done changing it out. I actually did it first thing this morning before the boys got here, but had to change it out with a Coleman 15,000. Now again, we've talked about carriers. Carrier was a great unit, but they're just timing out. Now that one does have just the mechanical lower assembly in there. So we did add a heat strip because the old carrier did have a heat strip. But Mr. Adrian's in there getting that finished up, and that one will be all ready to go. Now this big Alpine Class A motor coach we had come in here, Mr. Cody, as you can see, has dove into the electronics on this thing. Now, it's hard to see. I'm going to zoom in between Cody's thing right there. But those 2 boxes right there are the HWH. The one on the bottom's for the slide. The one on the top's actually for the leveling system. Now, Cody's been testing on this thing, and it has lost, the touchpad has 0 power. And so what we determined was that there's a signal wire from the ignition that tells that box it's time to go. And so there's no power coming from that. So now you can see Cody's got this all opened up, trying to determine where that ignition wire has failed. Mr. Lewis has got the basement air out of this other Luxor that we have down here. Now this one here, the coils look pretty nice and clean. You can see all that. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna clean it, but it ain't like that other one. Again, this unit is air conditioner only. We were checking that capacitor over there, and I couldn't get a reading on it. One of them has been changed. That one does look like the original one. So Mr. Lewis is gonna go ahead and pull it out, and we're gonna check it and see what's going on. So Lewis has gotten done running this. We did have about 45-degree temperature on the discharge. Now we really didn't find a tremendous amount wrong with this. There was some wires that were backwards. That capacitor for compressor 1 was actually low. So we did change it, and then we found out that the capacitor for the indoor fan was also low. So we went ahead and changed it. So we've ran it, everything seems to be good, so we're gonna send it on its way. All right, so we're here on the driver's side slide. Now, we've already fixed the floor on the passenger side, put it back in. So now we're over here on the driver's side, and you can see how bad this floor is. It's rubber floor big time. It's all gone. So, no wonder it wasn't working. All right, so Liz has got this basement air on this Luxor finished up. Now, one of the things that she had told us when she was down in Florida, she actually had smoke rolling through the inside of the camper. You know, we kind of felt like it was the indoor fan motor. We ran the indoor fan motor just on an extension cord by itself for 30 minutes. Never got over 88 degrees, seemed to work fine. We put it all back together. Well, as soon as we ran it, and it going from high to low, Lewis actually saw sparks coming out from the air discharge. So obviously got a bad motor. Once it did that, we're smelling burnt wires. So we went ahead and changed out the motor on that one yesterday and retested. That one's got great temps and everything's working on that. But they had to go down there this morning. She had a little bit of a furnace problem. It's a little chilly here today. So they were down there looking at a furnace problem on that. So they're getting that done, and then we're gonna get this one back installed. So Lewis has got the furnace out of this Luxor. Now it's kind of interesting. Look at that. That's a water line. That thing has had water in it, and you can tell that's the water line's actually been up to that point. So it ran for a little bit and it keeps shutting off. So we're going to do some testing here. We got our dinosaur board out that we're going to do a little testing with. That's the old Chinese board. So we're going to test this and then hook it up to propane and see if we can run it here and see what's going on. Because the nice thing about the dinosaur board, it does have lights. So it's going to tell us if the sail switch comes on, if it's a burn issue, or if it's got a gas valve problem. So we're going to look at that now. So Mr. Lewis has got the Winnebago Luxor all fixed up, got the furnace running. The furnace had a bad control board, so we've got that dinosaur control board in that. Worked perfect. He's got the basement air in there running. That rascal actually had 41 degrees coming out of the vent. It was 80 degrees out here today, so she'll be able to hang meat in that camper as she heads up north. She's going back to Maine. So we got her all fixed up. She's all ready to go. Another happy basement air customer down the road. So kind of interesting. Again, 2 of those Luxors in a week. Like I said on the last video last week, I'd never seen one of those. So kind of interesting that we ran into 2 in a row like that. So lightning does strike twice sometimes. But there you go. So she is on her way. Well, let me give you an update on the old Airstream Lewis has been working on the renovation on. Now we've got the shower surround in. You can see he went in here. He spent some time trying to get all this just right, and he got that, and then we took a heat gun and heated that and bent it, and then he's got all this correct now. And then we didn't have enough, so we put a piece of shower pan or shower board in here. All this obviously is going to get sealed up nice and neat. When you put these buttons on here, of course they come with these little snap-on seal portions, so that'll get that. He's got the new kitchen sink or bathroom sink and cabinet in, and now he's working on the hot water heater, and there's a cabinet that goes around here, and then we'll work on looking at the placement of the actual toilet. So he's been getting quite a bit done. This has been obviously a chore. You guys have seen lots of videos that just been a long time trying to get this in here correctly, but now that it's in, I think Lewis has done a great job. It's just craftsmanship at its best right there. So Mr. Cody's been in here working on a big Endura class. I guess it's a class. That's a Super C, I guess is what it is. So the customer had this converter, and you can see it wasn't right 1/4. The breaker box is different. Now what we were finding was when we checked across here, which this is the 12 volt positive, 12 volt negative, we were only getting like 9.5 volts. The converter was putting out 13.5 volts. So what we found was they had tied in the neutral for the converter right there, but there was nothing tied from there to the neutral bar. So obviously they've been in there changing out some stuff, and they just somehow missed that the neutrals weren't tied together, and so we just weren't getting no battery voltage from the charger back through there. So that's an easy fix. Cody's going to run a jumper in there and tie all that together, and that should resolve that. So getting close to the end of the day here. We're getting kind of wrapped up here on a Friday afternoon. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Cousin Gary did make it back the other day, so glad to have him back. Kind of helps me out around the shop with all the moving around stuff we got to do. So anyways, hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Remember, this video is Cousin Gary approved. Take care.